Yeah, he's doing the announcement for this introducing speaker before. What do you need to do the announcement for?
Retreat is coming up, so I just want to announce that.
Okay. You can. I have a few announcements as well.
Maybe tell Shaz to just include you.
Okay. Yeah, Friday, give it to me. Make it brief. I'll invite you after Juma, okay? I'm going to show you just the mic. Take it upstairs.
Foundation, which works with Access, Newer Kids News, the Family Youth Institute, Celebrate Mercy, Mohsin, Helping Hand, and the Summer app that made him a respected leader. For the Belal mission is to challenge stigmas, bridge divides, and foster understanding through education. Without further ado, from Belal. السلام عليكم.
Blessings and salutations be upon the last and final messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. O you who have believed, fear Allah as you should be feared, and do not die except in the state of Islam. My dear brothers and sisters, the days of Dhul Hijjah are slowly going away. A moment where we reflected on the life of Ibrahim alayhi salam and the legacy that he left behind, the legacy of the family. And I want you to understand this, my dear brothers and sisters, the legacy of Ibrahim alayhi salam and his family. When you think of Ibrahim and his family, it's about sacrifice. What he sacrificed for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With Hajar dehydrating herself in the middle of nowhere, sacrificing herself for the well-being of her child. Ismail sacrificing for the sake of Allah. And you have to ask yourself, what is your mission statement? What is your legacy? What is the mission statement of your family? How do you want to be known as? When you are passing away in this world, what is your mission statement? When you look at the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was sent as a rahmah, a mercy to mankind. And I want you to imagine, my dear brothers and sisters, I want you to travel back in time with me 1400 years ago during the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And you're behind this wall and you hear the voice of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he's teaching, he's educating, he's giving da'wah. And you do not know who he's giving da'wah to. Travel back in time 1400 years ago, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is speaking to an influencer. A person of the Quraysh. You think of an influencer today, 100K followers on Instagram, tap the link in the bio, 20% off. Oh, everyone, you say one thing, boom, that's it, I'm going to go buy this thing. An influencer at the time of the Quraysh, one person accepting the religion of Islam, and the amount of people that he would be able to influence as well. It's a very important meeting. And you're behind this wall and you hear the voice of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And through this you become excited. That's the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's teaching, I just need to know what he's learning about. The blind companion, Abdullah bin Maktoum, hears the voice of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He rushes over. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his eyebrows drop a little bit, not out of annoyance, but you can only imagine, just imagine you're on a business call. You're about to close on a sale, and all of a sudden, your son or daughter rushes into the room and says, "Baba!" And you're like, I was just about to close on this deal. In that moment, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam receives revelation where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forever will be in the Quran of the verses of Abasa wa Tawalla. How the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he did this moment. And everything, when you look at the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, if something that the Prophet Muhammad did wrong, it would have been corrected. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala corrects the behavior and starts to advocate for this blind companion. When you look at the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's a form of revelation. And when you look at the life of the surah of Abasa wa Tawalla, you find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala correcting the behavior of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what happened after these verses were revealed? Every time the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw Abdullah bin Maktoum, he addressed him in terms of honor. My dear brothers and sisters, how do we engage with our special needs community? Those that are blind, those that are hard of hearing, those that have developmental delay, those that have autism, those that have ADHD. How are we empowering them? I want to remind us all, when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before he went to Medina, Yathrib, before Medina was Yathrib, who did he send to teach the religion of Islam? Abdullah bin Maktoum. Who was the second mu'adhan behind Belal? Abdullah bin Maktoum. Who was left in charge of Medina when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam left to go on certain things that he had to take care of? Abdullah bin Maktoum, the blind man. And you ask yourself, where are the special needs community in our circles? Where is inclusion in our community? I want you to imagine this moment. There's a story of the Shaykh. You have to really imagine this moment, right? How do you include everyone in a community? Someone takes Shahada, right? And they're getting the kisses and the hugs. Where I'm from in Michigan, there's communities and masajids where if you were to walk in and you do not look like them, you're considered other. You get those looks like, brother takes their shahada, getting the kisses, the hugs, and then what happens? Next day they come in, they have tattoos, maybe they look a little bit different, they're like, You get those looks, those unwanted glances. This imam went into sajda. These two kids snuck onto the front of the row in between, just got in between and started climbing on this imam's back. Started climbing in the middle of prayer. You could only imagine. You and I in that situation, what are we doing? Oh, I can't wait to give these kids a piece of my mind. And as soon as the salams are given, whose kids are these? This is the masjid. Don't bring your kids in here if they're acting like this. Bro, when a kid comes into a masjid, Lord, I want you to take the big ego and bring it down to a level of 5-year-old ego. You see a big area. What are you doing? Cartwheels. Running around. Having fun. And when the very first exposure is masjid, sit down. This is not how we act. You ask yourselves, where are you when we treat them with harshness? This imam was into session. And he went for a very long time. An uncomfortable amount of time. Like, hey, what's going on? And one of the people that's praying behind this imam, he picks up, he's like, he's in a session. Is he okay? People thought that this imam had died. So what happens? After the salah is over, they go to this imam. Who is this? Rasulullah sallallahu. He's leading the best of people, the companions in salah. He said, what's going on? Why were you in sajda so long? The kids were playing on my back. What do you and I do when our kids come up to us and parents start, they jump on our back and we're like, and they're like choking us. And you only will know that if you have kids that jump on your back and they're like, ah. What do we do? Get off me. You tell me if your child, if you were in their shoes and they're being pushed away from salah, if they would want parents. If you do not create a welcoming environment for people, they're going to run away. So you can imagine a mother with a special needs child that has autism, that has ADHD, that's running around in the background and they're getting those unwanted glances, those you don't belong here, those why are you here? Why are you disrupting my iman? Why are you disrupting my khushu? Why are you doing this? Who raised you? Where is your mother? Where is your father? Don't you know not to act like that in the masjid? Ask yourself what the community would look like when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has said, to be gentle and merciful to those people in this world, and Allah, the most merciful, will be gentle to you. And when you wonder why the community is very harsh, nobody's happy. You go to someone, Assalamu alaikum. You turn into the Hulk or someone. Relax, bro, I'm just saying salams. You do it with a smile. Assalamu alaikum, right? Just smile. It's a sunnah. Very easy. Make people feel welcome. Make people feel included. Make people feel like it's okay. You have a mother that has a special needs child, and they get those looks. Mother I spoke with in Pennsylvania. She said, my 18-year-old daughter does not come to the masjid. Why? Because she has a prosthetic leg. And every time they go to the masjid, the only thing people are looking at is that prosthetic leg. Why? During the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people used to walk with a limp. People used to have deformities. People used to have sicknesses in their eyes. Look beyond that. Look beyond that. What's it matter if someone looks a little bit different than you? You raise your kids in an environment where all they know is you and the other, they're going to think the other is very weird. Imagine a person that's never seen someone of a different race or a different color. Never seen a person that's in a wheelchair. Never seen someone that is blind. As soon as they see them, it's different. It's odd. I don't know how to react in this situation. And that's why we have to make the masajid inclusive. That's why we have to have people in our community that are different, that are not the norm. Because the more diverse a community is, the more loving a community is, the more welcoming a community is, the more stronger the community becomes. The more compassionate a community becomes. And today, many people, you hear this statement, that you are the way that you are Because God is punishing. Your child is the way that they are, the disability that they have, because God is punishing you. Really? Come on, no. Really? 1400 years ago, that's the same thing. How surprising. It's the same thing that ignorance would say, the Quraysh would say. How would they say it? If you hang out with someone with disability, the curse of God will be upon you like it was on them. Wow. How amazing is still people today have that jahiliyyah in them. When the Prophet Muhammad said that when Allah loves someone, He tests them. A special needs mother, a special needs father are taking care of a person from Jannah that the pen has been lifted from. And when the Prophet Muhammad has said that whoever accommodates someone in this world, whoever removes barriers for someone in this world, Allah will accommodate them in the next. That Allah will remove barriers for them in the next. So you can only imagine a special needs mother and father taking care, a special needs brother and sister taking care of a special needs individual, and how much that they're being rewarded. No, my brothers and sisters, Allah does not punish those with special needs. Or the child of a mother and father, Allah does not punish the parents. In fact, if that was the case, what would we tell Musa alayhi salam who had a speech impediment? That Allah has punished him? Really? That speech impediment came from when Fir'aun wanted to harm him to the point of death. If anything, it saved him. If anything, it elevated Harun when he says, Rabbi shrah li sadri, oh Allah, not to make my task easy for me, and not in my tongue, and make Harun allowed to accompany me. Harun became a prophet. Why? Because Musa alayhi salam could not speak clearly. What do we tell Yaqub when blind in his eyes? What do we tell Ayub alayhi salam when an illness of his skin? Allah has not punished those with special needs. Allah has elevated those that have an opportunity to earn good deeds through that. You know, subhanAllah, I had a cousin, older cousin, he had cerebral palsy. And he had round-the-clock nurses, 24 hours. He had a brain tumor as a child, normal person, 18 years old. All of a sudden, everything goes downhill. And he wanted to end his life. I said, go over to his house, and he was reading Quran, thinking that maybe he's possessed by a jinn. I said, I think he just wants to talk. Let's just talk to him and see what's wrong. I said, Salih, what's wrong? He's in his 60s. His parents are old. This is Belal. This is Belal. I should be pushing my parents in the wheelchair. They shouldn't be pushing me. I said, Salih, you're pushing them right into Jannah. Because every time they take care of you, every time they wipe the drool that is coming from your mouth, every time they're patient when you're talking, every time they hire someone to take care of you, they bring you food, you're pushing them right into Jannah. And the only verses, I used to memorize the Quran, the only verses he knew were قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ. And he kept reciting these two verses over and over and over. My dear brothers and sisters, I want to close the first part of the khutbah on this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that Allah, nothing is hidden from Him in the earth or in the heavens, and it is He who shapes you in the womb as He likes, and there is no God but He, the mighty and the wise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being the mighty and the wise, could have made every single person perfect by His might, but He chose not to by His wisdom, to see who in the community is going to step up and welcome them into the circle. You have Hajar running in between the mountains. She's a single mother. Ibrahim walks away with the dua, oh Allah, surround them with a community whose hearts will be inclined towards them. Ibrahim alayhi salam is asking Allah for a community to come around this single mother and her child. Why? Because what's going to happen when a special needs mother or father pass away? They're concerned how the community is going to welcome and take care of their child. When their child becomes an adult, who's going to hire my child? Who's going to hire my baby when I die? Who's going to financially support my baby when they die? You have to ask yourself, my dear brothers and sisters, are you a heart in your community whose heart will be inclined to helping the one who is in need of help? أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. My dear brothers and sisters, I leave you with this. How are you helping your community out? Your legacy, when you look at the life of the Prophet Muhammad, it's always his interaction with others. When you think about this, he was always helping people. Never once it was like, no, I can't, I'm too busy. Abdullah bin Maktoum, I want you to imagine this moment. He invites the Prophet Muhammad over to his house. And the Prophet Muhammad doesn't say, oh, I could go over there. He goes himself, a person that wears more hats than anyone else. He's a prophet, he's a husband, he's a father, all of these responsibilities, walks into his home, and he says, Ya Rasulullah, I don't have anyone that can take me to the masjid. Can I pray at home? What does Rasulullah say? Does he go out into the community and start to shame the community? Shame on you that you can't help this person that has a special needs? What does he say? The Abdullah bin Maktoum who cannot see. He says, do you hear that adhan? Yes. Then answer it. You go do it. You're the one that answers it. He first tells him, he answers the question. You can pray at home. But don't use your disability as an excuse. There's so many people that I know personally that have memorized the Quran and they cannot see. That have memorized the Quran and they cannot hear. What's your excuse? What's your excuse? Abdullah bin Maktoum, he was empowered by Rasulullah. How will you empower your community? How will you empower the special needs mother and father? How will you empower the special needs child? How will you empower the special needs adult? How have you empowered the single mother that is widowed? How have you empowered the person that has a mental illness? How have you empowered the one that is struggling with an addiction? How have you empowered them? My dear brothers and sisters, alhamdulillah, we have this masjid being a Muslim certified masjid, meaning that it's done steps that it's taking in order to make it an inclusive environment. Alhamdulillah, one way to help out is, of course, to donate. This is not a fundraiser, but there is an option to donate. You can help financially. But if you want to help, if you want to be a teacher, if you want to be a volunteer, if you want to help be involved, the masjid is looking for people out there in the community to step up. Who's innocent? You can go in the back and learn more about it. But I want to close on this, my dear brothers and sisters. You have to ask yourself, where do you fit in this puzzle? Where do you fit in this puzzle? How are you going to leave a legacy behind of helping people? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, there's only one thing that can be saved. It's not the eyes that are blind, it's the heart. And you have to ask yourself this question very deeply in your heart when you walk out of this masjid and you go into your car and you turn your car on and you place your seatbelt on and you start to drive. Ask yourself this question when you are at home at night crying to Allah, is my heart stable? Or do I leave with an able heart? Or when I see someone in need, I help them. When I see someone that is struggling, I elevate them. You see your wife and she's struggling with something, how am I going to step in instead of saying, you're not doing enough, you don't appreciate me? How do I step in and say, let me take care of food today. Let me take care of the laundry today. Let me take care of the dishes today. Let me take care of the cleaning today. You go relax, let me watch the kids and take the kids to the park. How are you helping those? You see your mother struggling to do something. How are you as a child going to say, Mama, let me take care of this? How are you going to go to your father and say, Baba, let me take care of the garden. Let me take care of that. Do you lead with a heart that is blind? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us a better understanding. وتولنا فيما توليت وبارك لنا فيما اعطيت ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار وعلى الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
We put his cell phone to silent. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع وجوه يومئذ ناعمة لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة ونمارق مصفوفة وزرابي مبثوثة أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله Assalamualaikum everyone. As many of you know, alhamdulillah, we have our full community walk tomorrow. There are 80 people already signed up. If you're able to come, the weather tomorrow is at 4:34. You'll receive a key from your app. And inshallah, we'll meet at the Robinson and Forest Reserve. You're more than welcome to join us, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters, a few quick announcements. Welcome to all the Hajis that came back from a successful Hajj. And we have invited them tonight for the Queen Khutbah. So if you are one of the families that came back from a pilgrimage, you're welcome to join us tonight. By the time we'll be arranging the main course here. And if you can sign up, if you're visiting a family, you can sign up in the front sheet to join us around 6:30 p.m. in the banquet hall. And we'll have a blood running on Sunday, July 23rd, from 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. So if you like to donate blood, please join us. And Helping Hand is conducting a clothing drive. They are out in the lobby. They've got a partner truck. So until Saturday, July 22nd, until 3 p.m., you can drop off your clothing. Love you, guys. Assalamu alaikum.
Young Muslims Brothers Annual Retreat is coming up this August 6th to 10th. It's for brothers ages 13 to 25. If you have any questions, please see me in Milwaukee. Last year we had the honor of having Officer Jones and Michelle, and look forward to having you again. So again, please see me in Milwaukee. If there are any questions, we'll have brothers pass out flyers.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ثم blessings and salutations be upon the last and final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. O you who have believed